Good afternoon. My name is Maureen Garry, and I'm a member and the current president of Celtic Women International. My presentation today will be on the 11 notable women of the Isle of Man. The women that I will be talking about are Sophie Morrison, Mona Douglas, Constance Radcliffe, Kathleen Ferrier, Josephine Kramad, Elizabeth deVere, Sophia Golden, Marin Shimon, Sage Kinby, M.L. Wood, and Eliza Craven Green. The Isle of Man is one of the 7 Celtic nations. It is located in the Irish Sea between Ireland and Great Britain. It has a landmass of 221 square miles and a coastline of 99 miles. The capital and largest city is Douglas. The other large cities are Ramsey, Castletown, Peel, Port Erin, and Laxey. The current island population is just over 85,000 people, with over 26,000 living in Douglas. The flag shown here has been the official one since 1932. And it is based on the Isle of Man coat of arms that dates back to the 13th century. The first woman is Sophie Morrison, who was born in 1859 and died in 1917. She is considered to be one of the foremost figures of the Manx cultural revival. She is best remembered for writing Manx fairy tales, which was published in 1911. However, her greatest influence was as an activist for the re-energizing of Manx culture through her dedicated work in the fields of Manx language, music, folklore, theater, literature, dialect, and more over a century ago. She was actively involved with the Manx Language Society and in editing its journal, Mannin, from 1913 to 1917. The second woman is Mona Douglas, who was born in 1898 and died in 1987. A plaque on the wall between Tinwald Hill and Church describes Mona Douglas as a poet, collector, visionary. Without her steadfast effort, the Manx cultural scene would be unidentifiable today. One of her most significant achievements was the saving of traditional Manx folk music and dance. Her involvement and effort in promoting Manx culture through a significant number of activities, which included societies, classes, publications, and youth groups, brought Manx culture to a wider audience. The third woman is Constance Radcliffe, who was born in 1921 and died in 2004. Constance Radcliffe is considered to be one of the Isle of Man's greatest historians. She contributed vastly to Manx society through her scholarly research and writings. In 1993, she helped reintroduce the poetry of Josephine Kramad, better known as Cusheg, to a new generation. The fourth woman is Kathleen Ferrier, who was born in 1904 and died in 1974. Kathleen Ferrier is considered by many as second only to T.E. Brown. She was a prolific Manx dialect author, short story writer, and playwright. Her work is known for its humor and reminiscent portrayal of the Isle of Man and its people. The fifth woman is Josephine Kramad, who was born in 1852 and died in 1937. Josephine Kramad is better known by her pen name, Cushag. She is considered to be the Queen of Manx poetry. Her body of work, including poetry and plays, includes some of the best and most important works in all of Manx literature today. She was involved in the collection of Manx folklore through her friendship with Sophie Morrison. The sixth woman is Elizabeth deVere, who was born in 1575 and died in 1627. Elizabeth deVere was not Manx, but was the Isle of Man's first female head of state. She was Lord of Man from 1612 to 1627. She also served as a maid of honor to Queen Elizabeth I of England before she married William Stanley, 6th Earl of Derby. Some think this event may have been one of a number of inspirations, possibly 11, for William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. The seventh woman is Sophia Golden, who was born in 1833 and died in 1910. Sophia Golden's name appears in many books of women's history for her role as mother of Emmeline née Golden Pankhurst, leader of the suffragette movement. Sophia Golden and her husband were members of Manchester, England's radical elite, and thus were able to expose their children to radical politics, as well as the foremost intellectuals of the time. The eighth woman is Marin Shimon, who was born in 1879 and died in 1942. Marin Shimon was elected in 1933 as the first female member of the House of Keys, the lower house of Tynwald, which is the parliament of the Isle of Man. She was a member of the Manx Labour Party. She led a distinguished political career as MHK for Peel, taking up important positions within Tynwald to fight for social reform. She was especially concerned about injustices which affected women and children. An obituary commented that her greatest concern was, quote, to do the best she could for humanity in general, unquote. The ninth woman is Sage Kinby, who was born in 1870 and died in 1962. Sage Kinby was one of the last native speakers of Manx. The other living native Manx speaker at the time was Ned Madrell, who died in 1974. She and her husband were proponents in the revival of the interest in the Manx language in the 1950s and 1960s, after realizing their own neglect in not teaching the Manx language to their children. Recordings were made of her by the BBC in the late 1940s to help preserve the pronunciation of the Manx language. Her interest to share her knowledge of the Manx language has led to a flourishing language community, including new native speakers, on the Isle of Man today. The 10th woman is M.L. Wood, who was born in 1839 and died in 1925. Mary Louisa Wood is known as the mother of Manx music. She played an important role in the cultural life of the Isle of Man for decades. Her legacy lives on in the Manx Music Festival, referred to as the Guild, which she established in 1892. The 11th and last woman is Eliza Craven Green, who was born in 1803 and died in 1866. Although Eliza Craven Green was not Manx, her time spent in Douglas as a young girl and actress greatly influenced her future writing. She is best known for her 1854 poem, Ellen Vannon, which is considered to be the alternate national anthem for the Isle of Man. She was also a well-known actress on the Douglas stage in the 1820s. This is the poem that Eliza Craven Green wrote. When the summer day is over and its busy cares have flown, I sit beneath the starlight with a weary heart alone. Then rises like a vision, sparkling bright in nature's glee, my own dear Ellen Vannon and its green hills by the sea. Then I hear the wavelets murmur as they kiss the fairy shore, and beneath the emerald waters sings the mermaid as of yore. And the fair isle shines in beauty as in youth it dawned on me, my own dear Ellen Vannon and its green hills by the sea. Then memories, sweet and tender, come like music's plaintive flow of the hearts in Ellen Vannon that loved me long ago. And I give with tears and blessings my fondest thoughts to thee, my own dear Ellen Vannon, and thy green hills by the sea. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to give this presentation.